Hey everyone, welcome to the Recruitment Edge podcast with me, Ed Khan, as your host. Now, in today's episode team, we are talking about something that I'm super passionate about, which is client meetings. Now, we collect a lot of stats and data and have done for the last 5 years. And honestly, and I'm not saying this as a shock stat for everyone to go, oh my god, that's low, because most people don't believe this to be true. But the average recruiter in Australia at the moment is meeting with less than 15 clients a year. That to me is shocking, because I don't know any desk that can perform well with a lack of one-on-one interaction with their client base and their prospect base. So what we're seeing in the market at the moment is a drop in client meetings, and naturally that is then affecting someone's ability to perform financially well on their desk, because that obviously then leads to a lack of client commitment, lack of new clients being signed, a lack of ability to effectively pitch that company to candidates that you might be approaching. There's a lot of issues that comes off the back of not actually getting face time with clients or prospects. So, how do we fix it? One, I would say there needs to be an awareness of the need for change. So if you are sitting there going, I don't really need to meet clients, I don't need to up my game there, then this episode probably isn't for you. And that's also fine. But if you are sitting there going, oof, I know I'm not meeting enough people, then please stay tuned, because there's a few quick fire things that you can do that will have an impact to booking in client meetings. So, step one, I would say, is understanding how you are approaching it at the moment, if at all. So, if your approach is very one-dimensional, and by that I would say calling prospects or existing clients going, hey, would love to catch up with you, get you a coffee, I would say that's probably not going to be super successful. And a lot of the time on that type of call or ask, you'll be met with, oh, sorry, I can't do it this week or next week, I'll maybe at the end of the year or next year. That to me then also kills your BD confidence, going, no one wants to meet. And that's not the case, because people are meeting with suppliers. But the change is there needs to be enough perceived value in that meeting for your prospect or client to carve off an hour of their time. Time is super valuable, team. That's the only thing we can't buy more of. And so when we look at our client base, and we, for most sectors, can go, most of them are actually now working 1 or 2 days or even 3 or 4 days from home. So they don't have a lot of time in the office. So if we're then asking for an hour of that time that they could be spending engaging with their team, doing one-on-ones with their team, it's unlikely that they'll say yes just to a catch up with a recruiter. So I would say to get more client meetings, you need an approach strategy that relies on you being able to successfully demonstrate the value of that meeting to that prospect or client. If you can't, I would say the chances of you securing that client meeting are going to be really low, unless you know that person really, really well and they're fine just to catch up with you because they like you. So that will be a small percentage of our client base. But certainly if we're wanting to up our game on prospect client meetings, then we really need to be able to showcase value in them carving off an hour of their time. So, how do we demonstrate value in that meeting? I would say we need to start with just reflecting on who we're trying to engage with. We might go, we're trying to engage with SME business owners across the engineering space. Amazing. Just that bit of info alone will help you craft something that might be valuable to them and a reason why they might want to engage with you. So let's go down this route, right? This is how I would workshop it. So I'm an engineering recruiter. My prospect base is engineering firms in Melbourne. And my target pool of clients are all the smaller agencies, the smaller companies in engineering, under 100. And my target person I'm trying to connect with is the business owner. From here, I would do a couple of things. I need to actually reflect and think on what that business owner might be finding challenging. It might be something specific to recruitment, or it might be general. Now, at the moment, if we look at the engineering space, I don't know a huge amount about it, but we do have clients across this space. So I would be looking at, as a small business owner, what's happening in the economy at the moment. What's happening from a time perspective? We're coming up towards the end of year. What's happening with that talent pool of engineers? I might uncover, just with a tiny bit of reflection, actually, we're coming up towards the end of year. Based on my own research, I might go, there's a lot of engineers starting to mark themselves as open to opportunities. I might go, we're coming towards the end of year, and that's usually when people start to think about, are they wanting to come back to their business in the new year? So there's a few challenges there. My approach then might be to a prospect list of business owners in the engineering space who are owners or founders, be heavily around, hey, this is what I'm seeing in the market. 2 years ago, the number of engineers in the Melbourne space was X. In the last 2 years, I've seen that drop, and there's been a big exodus to the Brisbane market. Naturally, that's created some challenges for smaller agencies like yourself when it comes to attracting engineers. What I'm seeing also at the moment is it's the highest number of engineers that are actually marking themselves as open to opportunities. And I might also share, just from my own experience, Mr. or Mrs. Client, December, January are the busiest months for us when it comes to candidates, because that's usually when people start to reflect on whether they want to come back or not. I might then share with that prospect on the call, there's a few key things that these people are looking for, why they start to look elsewhere. I'd love to come in and share some insights with you. I think it might be helpful from a retention perspective, and I can share some further insights with you in terms of what our other clients are doing to attract and retain engineers. For me, that call showcases credibility. For me, as a recruiter within that space, I'm sharing insights, I'm sharing stats. I'm not asking for their business. I'm just going, this is what I've seen, how are you going? And I'm potentially showcasing a challenge that they may not have thought about, i.e. retention in December, Jan. And if at some stage in the last few years they've come back to their businesses in January and they've had a few engineers resign, that will pick up their ears and they'll go, shit, yeah, that's happened to me before. This person now has some value to add to me. And they've told me that they've got insights into what my competitors are doing. And so that said in that way, you've now established enough reason for that person to want to meet with you. I would say at that time, it's appropriate to go, hey, I'm in town next week. I'd love to pop in and share these insights with you. Do you have time on? And I would give a specific time, Wednesday at 4. I wouldn't leave it open to, I'll come in whenever you're free. I would keep control of that and go, I can do Wednesday at 4. Are you around? Because if they can't, they will tell you and they'll go, sorry, yes, can't make Wednesday at 4. In which case, now you've established they do want to meet, they just can't do that time. And so you can go, look, what times are you available? I can maybe move a few things around on Thursday or Friday. What times do you have? And I wouldn't get off the call until a time's been established. Please try this approach with your next few calls where you're wanting to secure client meetings. I can guarantee, done in that way, you'll have a much higher success rate of converting client calls to client meetings. As always, if you have any specific questions, please give me a call or drop us an email and I can answer any questions that you may have, because I appreciate it's completely unique to your market, to you and your business, so feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I've been Ez Khan and this has been the Recruitment Edge podcast, and we will see you next week, Friday.